Well, thank you so much, Keith. We are so glad to be here on The Next Right Thing. And this edition, we've got a special guest with us, and we're so excited to hear the story, the history behind these wonderful items and an app that we can become, used to and love, and it's amazing. It's just really incredible, Adam. So I'm going to let you properly introduce our guest, and then we're going to dive into how this all got started and how we can all be a part of it.
Absolutely, Deb. So yeah, today we're meeting Ira DeWitt. She is a new friend that I've met, and everybody's met recently through the providence of God, through other friendships, and through the church. So just a few things about Ira. She's got a really interesting background. Ira has a PhD in education and psychology. She has worked for 10 years in the music industry, heading up a label that has produced a number of top 5 hits. She then moved into philanthropy and has done a lot of work with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And she's got a big project right now that's going very well. And that is a company that makes religious-themed candles called Saint Candles. And she's doing a really good job with that. It is doing very well. They have donated $300,000, probably plus, to helping fight childhood cancer from that company, from those efforts. They're in over 750 stores at this point, which is awesome. And yeah, so she's got a number of different skills. They're growing there. Personally, she's originally from Turkey, and she kind of bops around the world a little bit. She spends some time in Rome, some time in Los Angeles. So she's seen a lot of the world. She's experienced a lot of different cultures, which I really appreciate. I really love travel and getting to know different cultures and different people, because God has created such a wonderful kind of range in humanity. So yeah, I'm excited to have her here and share a little bit of her story.
Well, it's interesting, Adam, as you were introducing Ira, I am actually on the website right now looking at it, saintcandles.com. Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, it's just so artistic. So, Ira, welcome to Morning Joy and the Next Right Thing.
Thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Adam, for that amazing introduction. Makes me sound so much better than I actually am. But thank you for having me, guys.
Well, we want to know the whole backstory. How did you get started? I mean, you're so busy doing so many things to help other people, traveling around the world, and now with this incredible Saint Candles, and also you've got the Saint Catholic Lifestyle app, which I love that app so very much, and we are actually, Adam and I are featured on the app, which we're so grateful to you and your team. But how did this all get started, Ira?
The whole Saint Candles baby was born right after I retired from the music business. I was looking for something meaningful to do and devote my life to, and I had asked God to basically lead me where I was supposed to be. I was like, okay, God, like, use me now. I'm done with all my fun stuff. I'm done with all my when you're in a rat race to try to make it and prove something to the world about what you can do, what your achievements are. I was kind of done, and I said, lead my steps, put me to work. And then right around that time, my friend called me and said her son was really sick. He was in a permanent state of schizophrenia, and I thought to myself, okay, I have to get her a gift, something that's meaningful. And I went to Catholic Supply and quickly realized that, not that there's anything wrong, but everything looks like something from your grandmother's house, or it's really small, or, not kind of to the level that you might want to give to a friend. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to develop a line of prayer candles only as a gift. And I want to make them look like something from Neiman Marcus or Saks Fifth Avenue, something beautiful that, even though she wasn't Catholic, she was Christian. I thought, okay, Saint Raphael, Saint of Healing. And I thought, I'll go to my friend who's a candle manufacturer and I'll ask him to make me this beautiful candle. Well, I got to my friend's manufacturing plant and he said, I'm not making you one candle. Are you crazy? This is a manufacturing plant. You have to order 250 candles if you want to eat that, and that he doesn't even do that. He's like, I usually make like 5,000 candles, but for you, I'll make 250 because I'm not about to shut the production down. And I said, okay, so being the manic OCD ADHD person I am, I said, okay, I'll take 250 candles. I gave one to my girlfriend, and then my husband's like, what are we going to do with all these candles? We have 240 candles in our house. And I'm like, why don't we just give them to your employees for Christmas? We did, and I thought that might be the end of it, or I'd probably make 250 more just to give over the years. But then, like, right after Christmas, I kept getting calls. Hey, like, do you have another one of those candles? My friend has breast cancer, or my mom's going through a divorce, or somebody lost their business. And then I made another 250, and then another 250. And then the next thing you know, a candle rep, a fragrance and a candle rep found these candles and they asked to rep me. And I said, okay, that sounds like a kind of like a fun venture. And you wouldn't believe this. We had an order for close to $50,000 worth of candles. And I like panic mode, hired a couple people really quickly and got all these candles out. And then it literally grew into from a hobby gift candle idea to now we're in almost 1,000 stores.
Wow. Oh
You
my
know,
goodness.
the striking thing about that, Ira, is what I kind of look for and hope for in things in my life, and that is that it grows organically. And it's kind of like God puts these opportunities in front of you, or puts these situations where you can, voluntarily work or contribute something. Like he puts the need in front of you, and he gives you the means to do something about it. And then the biggest thing I think with God's providence is the doors just open and it works out, right? Like you're describing, you weren't even trying and it's working out. To me, that's like kind of God's fingerprints being on something.
100%. And we started out with one candle and then went to three really quickly. We had St. Raphael, then we went to St. Benedict, and then we went to St. Jude. And this is not this one, sorry. This is like what the original candles looked like. They still look like this with a beautiful box. This is the St. Benedict. I know, Adam, this is one of your main
Mm-hmm.
saints and
Mm-hmm.
scents. So we had that one, and then we did a special edition, and then it grew. Now we're up to, I think, 17 saints.
Amazing.
Yeah. Which
And it
is,
doesn't look like your grandmother's prayer candle.
Right.
no. And I mean, I've been grateful. I have a couple from your company, and they're great. But the really neat thing about it is you're producing a lot of different saints, because different people get relationships with different saints that resonate for them.
Like St. Anthony. Yeah.
Yeah, and so having that, yeah, it's and yeah, it kind of brings it's not the same as incense in church, but it's the same idea, that it's bringing a reminder to your environment
Yeah.
about something holy,
Well,
right?
and the other thing too is, everybody, the thing about the candles, people love the scents, they love the smell, they love what it does to bring that ambiance into the room. It accents the decor, but these are so exquisite, and they're made. You know that they behind it is this story of love that you bring forth, Ira. And I think that's what we're trying to tap into today, is like, why do people get started with all of these things, right, Adam? Why do they get started? I mean, it's not just about, I mean, you probably didn't think you were going to be in the business of selling candles, right? But I mean, what's the reason behind it, and how, like you said, Adam, evolving in this organic way in order to appeal to everyone where they're at and connect everyone. See, I'm back to this connection. See, it's interesting, Adam. What was the first thing I asked you? I said, "What candle do you have, Adam?" And we shared, what mine smelled like, what yours smelled. I mean, it connects us, right, Ira?
It 100% connects you, and that was the whole reason behind creating different saints and scents. Sorry, because people, like, you might be Saint Anthony is the saint of finding love in lost articles, right? And so somebody might be looking for love or healing or keeping evil spirits away. Saint Benedict, Saint Michael, saint of first responders. There's like a saint in the Catholic Church for everything, and I think that people Like I grew up going to Catholic church and school. And did you guys go to Catholic school too?
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, oh,
Yes.
okay, all of us did, right? But
Hmm.
there's a generation of people, young people that don't even know about saints. So they might email me or they'll come into a store and they'll say, "Oh, I didn't know Joan of Arc was the patron saint of fearless women." And so it's a cool way to introduce the saints to people who are not aware of them. One of the biggest clients I had was a Jewish man who ultimately ended up converting. And I think, and I'm not saying that his conversion was due to my candles, but I think that he would come in every time and buy like $1,500 worth of candles. I was like, I would just be like, this is so odd. I have a Jewish man buying like $1,500 worth of candles at a time. And he'd be like, St. Raphael's my favorite for this reason, or St. Anthony's my favorite for this reason. But I think that even though it may not be the reason why he converted, I think it helped him a little bit because it's a fun way to learn about the saints.
Well, and you
Mm.
have these visual reminders, right, Adam? We talk about it all the time with having holy images. I mean, on the actual candles themselves are these holy images, and so it reminds you of that particular saint or the Blessed Mother, or we can go on to Saint Benedict, go on, and then that is going to point you towards God. I think it's beautiful. Ira, hang on with us for a little bit more. We're gonna send it back to Keith Downey, our host, for some important announcements, and we'll talk more about the Saint Candles, the story behind it, also about the Saint Catholic Lifestyle app, which is just a fantastic way to introduce people to Catholicism and get them really on a great path. And Adam, I'll let you reintroduce Ira when we come back because we always have new listeners every few minutes. So for now, we'll hold it there and send it back to Keith. No, no, Keith, you cannot have my candle. You're going to have to get your own. I'm sorry. I'm just saying I'm not sharing my saint candle. Okay, Adam, so if you could just reintroduce just a little bit Ira DeWitt, our guest for the next right thing. And it's looking like we're probably going to do a part two for the day after Thanksgiving. And we'll talk more about the app, which has really been very useful and helpful to people who are looking to go deeper into the Catholic faith. But Adam, I'll let you properly introduce our wonderful guest again.
Sure. So, yeah, we're talking with a new friend, Ira DeWitt. Her background's PhD in education and psychology, and she spent some time in the music industry. She moved on to philanthropy, a lot of work with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and she's got two big ventures going on that really seem to be providential in the sense that, I think you can kind of see God's hand behind these things. She's through a friend and a friend's personal struggles. She ended up starting a Catholic candle company, really beautiful, high-end, really gorgeous candles. And that's just exploded. So, they've raised a lot of money to fight childhood cancer with that. They're in close to 1,000 stores, I understand, around the world now. And and she's now starting a venture to provide a Catholic app to help people kind of develop an overall Catholic lifestyle, an approach to all aspects of the week, not just the hour we spend in church, and maybe not just saying some prayers outside of church, but really trying to find a way to bring God into all the aspects of our lives.
Yeah, and Ira, Adam and I really want to thank you for the help that you have given us for Stand Tall, which is our life coaching ministry, where we're trying to keep life coaching affordable for folks and to really get in there with webinars and group coaching. And you've just been so wonderful, stepping up and doing whatever you can to really assist in that area. And that's what I love about you, Ira, is that you have definitely. It's so obvious, even when you started this segment here with us. You have lived an extraordinary life. You've done so many things, seen places, been everywhere, and now you're really doing this. Putting all your whole effort into building up the kingdom, building up the body of Christ. I love that about you. So tell us more about the background.
So one thing I will say, I was a bit of even though I went to Catholic school my whole life, including my PhD at St. Louis University with the Jesuit priests, I was not a real practicing Catholic. And then when I started my research and my work with Saint, I somehow got pulled back into Catholicism and my faith again, which was actually super cool. And like there's like there we used to have, listen, I'm learning on the job. We used to have holy oil in the candle. Adam told us we couldn't. We took it out a couple months ago. No more holy oil in the wax, but we do still have prayer coins that have not been blessed. You can certainly get it blessed, but in doing my research for the saints, I had like a really tough time because there are some saints that are really easy sells for most people, meaning, okay, who's not looking for healing, right? Saint Raphael, easy. Who's not a saint of fathers, Saint Joseph? But then, like, there are some apostles and saints that are really important to the Catholic Church that are like Peter. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head what his patronage was, but let's say it's Saint of Fishermen, right? I'm like, okay, there should be a Saint Peter app, but I don't think people will connect with Saint of Fishermen. So I wanted to put something like helped establish the church. And then people would be like, you can't write that. So I would be like going to different priests and I was getting so frustrated. And so the Peter candle ultimately did not get made. It is in the process now of getting made. But in this whole journey, I realized that even though our church is so beautiful and wonderful, I feel like there's sometimes a barrier to entry. It can be inaccessible sometimes. And I thought, okay, I'm having an issue with connecting with the church or the priests. I can't, and I'm a person of education, wealth, and means. I can't imagine what the single mom who feels like maybe she wants to be in church, maybe she doesn't like, I can't imagine like the intimidation that she's feeling. So I thought to myself, I'm going to create I'm going to be the self-appointed marketing agency for the Catholic Church. I'm going to connect people. I'm going to connect. The Pope doesn't know that. Maybe he doesn't want that. But I just want to connect people with the church. So I started going down this path of developing an app. It was only supposed to start with the saint of the day. And then here, maybe I'll open my app and kind of walk you guys through it. So it opens up with the saint of the day.
Nice.
And then it goes to if there's a special feast of the day, and then we have a saint calendar, and then we partnered up with Angelicum in Rome, which is a seminary that trains priests and also canon lawyers. Adam knows all about that. We have a gospel of the day, and then we have a topic of the day, which is in video format. It could be anything from why do priests wear black to why are the relics of St. Jude on tour? And then we have Catholic news. So it could be Vatican news, it could be Catholic news. Anything that relates to Catholics that's current is on that news. Then we go to the prayer page. When I got back into my faith, the hardest thing for me, and I was trying so hard to do it, and I don't know why it was so hard because I actually do have a PhD, and that's not an honorary PhD. The hardest part for me was to do the rosary. And so I thought, okay, we're going to do the rosary on this app, and we're going to make it rosaries for dummies, okay? And we have the virtual rosary, so you can just go in your car and just press play like that.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of
Okay,
the Holy Spirit.
Wow.
so you can listen to that in your car
Wow.
while you're driving to work. Or we have a virtual rosary, right? So you can do it with the audio and without.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and
Nice.
our Father who art in heaven, Hail Mary.
So there's
full of
no,
grace.
it's a no-brainer, okay? We have essential prayers, we have chaplets, we even have Allie Landry, who is an actress and a model, praying the rosary. So if you feel like doing it visually, she will pray the rosary with you. It's like super, and you can make that bigger.
Holy Spirit. Amen.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But then we all have like spiritual warfare prayers, and Adam Bly is narrating those. And I think that I wanted to make it so easy. Then you can go to Mass. And one of the Masses in this, we're handpicking the Masses that we are live streaming to people. And one of the Masses one of the churches that's participating is out of St. Louis. It's a predominantly Black Catholic church. And you go to this Mass, you will be blown away. It's literally like
You can feel the spirit, correct?
you can totally feel the spirit, okay? And it's
Awesome.
totally different. I mean, there's something for everyone. If you want to go to Mass in Latin, you can go to Mass in Latin. If you want to have more of like a rock and roll experience, you can have that too. And then we have spiritual coaching, life coaching with the priest. You can book a time. Like this would have been really helpful for me when I was developing some of the more difficult saints to connect with the general public. And then we have pilgrimages that you can book, and we're partnered with 206 Travel for that. And then a couple more features. We have a Bible where you can search an intention or already pre-made intentions. You can say difficult time at work, and a Bible passage will pop up. And then we have exclusive content,
Nice.
documentaries
Nice.
that are geared for Catholics
yeah.
and everything in between.
Well, we want to hear more about this, but I have to tell you that this is the end of the Next Right Thing segment because we have the rest of Morning Joy. So we're going to ask Ira to come back and give us a part 2 the day after Thanksgiving. So this is the day before Thanksgiving. We'll celebrate with our family and friends on Thanksgiving, and we'll come back with Ira DeWitt on Friday. So let's send it. Thank you, Ira. Let's everybody, we'll stay in place, and we'll send it back to Keith for the rest of Morning Joy. Wow, we are so excited to be back the day after Thanksgiving. We hope you had a wonderful celebration with family and friends. And of course, you ate that big meal and a second meal and a third meal and, watch TV or movies or whatever that you do on your Thanksgiving. We hope you maybe you went to Mass on Thanksgiving Day. That would be fantastic. Or prayed the Rosary as a family. That would have been a wonderful thing. But there's still time because it's kind of Thanksgiving rolls into the weekend. And as we know from today on this Friday edition of The Next Right Thing, this is like the biggest shopping day of like the year, I think. And we're back with our wonderful guest, Ira DeWitt, who she was so wonderful to make time for us on Wednesday, Adam, the day before Thanksgiving, talking to us about the background of the Saint candles and the Saint Catholic Lifestyle app that is available for everyone that chooses to visit. And it is just a wonderful story. I love your life story, Ira. I love why you are doing this. And Adam, just for our new listeners for the Friday edition, maybe reintroduce Ira.
Sure, Deb. Yeah, so, Deb, we've talked on the show in different moments about, when God is moving in somebody's life, when God's calling somebody to something, and how do you discern what's really from God and what is just my imagination or my own ambition or my own inclination. And listening to Ira's story, it has all the hallmarks to me of something that's of God, because it grew out of a need that a friend of hers had. There was no need in Ira to start a business, and she didn't intend to, and then gave away the additional candles that she made after she gave one to her friend, and then people started asking her for them, and it just kind of organically grew. And God, and I'm going to get to introduce her in just a second, but it's just so wonderful how God gives us time. He gives us some talents. Sometimes he gives us resources in the world, and then he gives us ways to serve him and use those to draw more people to God and help them in their spiritual journey. So that's, to me at least, that's why we're spending time with Ira this week, to highlight an example of that, because people sometimes hear us talk about that and it's very abstract, like, well, what does that mean in real life?
Right. But before you bring Ira back on air with us, Adam, I agree with you wholeheartedly about what you're sharing about the background of how this all evolved. But I will share something with you. In life coaching, as you know, because this is what we do at Stand Tall, and you can find us at standtalltoday.com. But this is what we do. We talk about there are givers and there are takers in life. And there's no doubt about it that Ira's a giver. She cares about other souls.
You.
And it's so obvious, Ira. I mean, it just exudes from you. So, Adam, I just wanted to share that, and I know you agree, and I just think it's so wonderful for our listeners to get to know Ira the way we have gotten to know her.
Yeah, and just I'm not meaning for her to feel uncomfortable, but a final thing, that about her being genuine is she doesn't need to do this. She's not like an up and comer who's trying to get a business started, selling some Catholic merchandise to make a living. She's doing this out of love. She doesn't need to do this. It fell into her lap. God put this in front of her, and she's trying to follow that, I think. And so it's, to me, that's why it's a worthwhile example to share with people and to share a little bit of her with everybody. So we introduced her on Wednesday, but just really quickly, Ira DeWitt, a new friend of the show and all of us, PhD in education and psychology, so she had a professional background. She spent about 10 years in the music industry, heading up a label and developing a lot of good music that was very successful. She then got into philanthropy, done a lot of work with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and now she's got two big ventures going on. And as we mentioned, they kind of fell in her lap and just grew. And one is a Catholic candle company, and the other one is a Catholic lifestyle app. So she has Saint Candles, which is now in around 1,000 stores in the world. She's donated over $300,000 to fight childhood cancer from that business. And yeah, she's just firing on all cylinders at this point. And we were talking as we were closing on Wednesday about her Catholic lifestyle app and what she's developing there. Just a whole bunch of very practical tools, one of which I'm excited about is the calendar, because I'm running hectic day to day, and very often, unless somebody reminds me, I don't know the saint of the day.
Me too. Yeah, I feel the same way.
And sometimes I'm like, well, wait, when is that feast? Like,
Yeah.
It's next week. When is it? Because we're just running ragged all the time. And so having that handy, actually, for me at least, like that's one of the very perks that I'm going to be excited about.
Right.
And I know that's simple, but sometimes the simple things really help.
Yeah. Yeah. So welcome back for part 2 of The Next Right Thing, Ira.
Thank you guys for having me on again.
Yeah, we want to hear more of any, sometimes they say that Catholic radio listeners were kind of nosy. We want to know all the details, but it really is because we're trying to live out being the body of Christ. We want to know what's behind everything. We want to really accept things if they are genuine, like Adam was saying, and we want to get behind it and build that body of Christ. And so I think this opportunity that we have getting to know you better for all of our Morning Joy listeners, I think is just wonderful. It's fascinating. I think your story is just amazing. And I think I just have to tell you, I mean, I personally have your candles. I think they're exquisite. I mean, just incredible. So, I mean, you're talking all the way around. You put thought and care and effort into everything you're doing. And so continue on. Anything else you want to share with our Morning Joy listeners about this whole entire project?
Well, we talked about the day before Thanksgiving, we talked about the candles. How there's a patron saint for each scent and candle. There's about 15 saints and scents, anywhere from Virgin Mary of Guadalupe, the Blessed Mother, to Saint Raphael. There's a prayer coin in each candle. There's a philanthropic aspect
Right.
to our candles. Like Adam said, a portion of the proceeds go to helping families with cancer. And the lifestyle app, I mean, the app has everything from saint of the day, news, Catholic news around the world, prayers, virtual rosary, live rosary, chaplets. We have exclusive content. We have connect with a priest for spiritual counseling. And all of your listeners can download the app we're inviting them to download the app with the code Guadalupe.
Oh, nice. Very nice. So we can just download the app with Guadalupe. Okay.
Yes,
That's really
just
cool.
put,
Okay.
you'll have to put in your name, email, maybe
Sure.
phone number, and then there's a code that you'll put in Guadalupe. And you can do the same thing with our candles too if you go to saintcandles.com.
Very nice. Well, that's wonderful because we love our patron, Our Lady of Guadalupe. So you know how we feel being consecrated to Our Lady with the radio network, Our Lady of Guadalupe. So yeah, that's awesome. So let me just, Adam, if I may, only because you don't seem like a big shopper, Adam. Are you?
No, I think like most guys, I'm very practical.
Are you
So
saying that we're not? Just kidding.
no,
I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
no, I'm very much if God makes it happen, I'm very looking forward to having a dedicated room with beautiful things behind me like you have, Deb. Ira, of course, that room's gorgeous. But something a beautiful environment, like yes, I will decorate. I will definitely decorate. I will shop for that because I want to make a nice holy environment. But
Right.
yeah, outside of that, I'm a little monastic.
Well, and I love the way Ira on Wednesday she shared and she held up the app on screen, and I love that you did that, Ira, because with our YouTube listeners and all our social media folks that follow Morning Joy, they love that opportunity
Yeah,
to
I put it up again.
they're very visual, and so they love that. Now, the majority of our listeners are radio listeners, so they're just hearing us, and you're doing a fine job sharing the story, the history behind how you started Saint Candles, and it's at saintcandles.com, and then of course the app Saint Catholic Lifestyle, and so that's the app. But before we send it back to Keith, we're going to send it back to Keith in just a couple minutes. Just real quickly again, why do you feel like who are you trying to reach, and what are you trying to achieve with the app?
I'm trying to reach everyone with the app because we're in the generation of the internet, right? And apps and TikTok and Instagram, right? And there are people that work 7 days a week or have children that don't have access or don't even maybe not even have the transportation to go to church or to mass. There are mentally ill people out there that are suffering from, a variety of ailments that can't bring themselves to go to church or connect with a priest. There might be people who live in countries. I grew up in Turkey. No, religion was not forbidden in Turkey, but you also could not openly say you were a Christian or a Catholic. So it's for people like that too. It's for people who are traveling. It's for people, who are elderly who can't make it to mass. It's just or people who might want counseling, but they're too scared. It's for people who want to convert, but don't or feel intimidated. It's for everyone. It's for the lost sheep. It's for people like me who are born and raised Catholic, but just kind of lapsed. And it's a good way to come back in a very non-threatening, non-intimidating way.
Wow, that's powerful. Powerful. What do you say, Adam?
Yeah, I know we're going to have to go to the break here in a second, but yeah, I think what Ira just pointed out is something I'd like to talk about on the other side, because there's a real lack of catechesis we talk about so much, and this could provide some of that basic catechesis as people rediscover the church in their lives.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so we're going to send it back to our incredible host. And no, Keith, you're not getting my candle. I said it again. So we're going to send it back to you for a couple announcements, and then you'll flip it back to us for the final segment of The Next Right Thing for this Friday edition, the day after Thanksgiving. Oh, thank you so much, Keith. So this is the final segment of The Next Right Thing for the Friday edition. It's a big shopping day, so you're probably in your cars listening to Morning Joy. That is great. Just remember to tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, for the Spirit World. Adam and I are going to be diving deep into Advent. Adam, can you believe it? We're already in the new church liturgical year. That's something we can learn on this app, and it's just exciting for our Spirit World listeners to tune in tomorrow. We are taking calls tomorrow, so make sure you call in early. But our wonderful guest Ira DeWitt is with us for part 2. If you missed the real history of the Saint Candles and the app, you have to go to Wednesday's edition of Morning Joy and pick it up there on The Next Right Thing. But we wanted to continue with Ira to give her ample time to share with all of our listeners what's cooking at the candle store, also on the app. Adam?
Yeah, so right before the break, I just wanted to focus for a second on what I think is a big value with these apps. And, Ira, don't feel bad. It's very common for us all to kind of drift from the faith, especially during like college and your 20s, to be distracted by the world. I think the big difference in the generation coming up right now, though, where this can be helpful, and Catholic radio can be helpful actually, is there was a real lack of catechesis or learning about the faith for the young people coming up. So for them, it is very vague to come back to church. Like they know, in many cases, very, very little. I knew a good bit because I was born and raised Catholic and went to Catholic school. Like there was a lot of basics that I just knew because it was always part of my life. A lot of people, they're not growing up in the faith now. They're ostensibly Catholic, but when they start to pursue the faith, like they don't always have somebody to go to sit with them and explain things. Luckily, we have RCIA and OIAC, is it now?
OCIA.
OCIA, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a new one. It takes me a few years to adjust. We have programs to teach the faith, but that's for the person that's already committed to learning the faith and is willing to like dedicate themselves. Ira, you're creating something easy to use that's going to give, I think, some practical teaching, and then like teach them how to pray the rosary. That's super powerful and useful, because if you're praying the rosary, you're going to be drawn to the Eucharist. You're going to be drawn back into the church. So,
Well,
and the other thing that
go ahead.
just the other thing that you're doing that I think is really unique is trying to provide some personal contact, with people.
Right.
And most content, it's just like, okay, I can listen to a recording or watch a video of somebody talking about something, but to be able to actually ask a question specific to you, whether it's in a live chat or whether it's leaving a message, and getting a response maybe, that's incredible. It's ambitious, but it's super powerful for people.
Well, and remember something, with the Saint candles, Ira, and I'm sure you thought of this, candles, you're engaging the senses. Jesus said, I came for you to have life and to have it to the full. Okay, that means to engage our senses. And you have a candle, you can touch it, you smell it, you see it. You have a beautiful holy reminder of a saint on the candle, and the smell. Okay, and it's so amazing. And I'm a big believer in having these visual aids to help us stay pointed, focused on God. So anyway, I just had to share that. But Ira, let's leave you the final few minutes to really share with our Morning Joy listeners anything else you want to impart about your story and why it's important to you to keep this going.
I think it's also one thing I wanted to do with Saint Candles and the Saint app is, in the last 200 years, okay, let's go back even further. In the beginning, when the most sought after artists were commissioned to work for the Catholic Church, the church and our religion had the most beautiful displays of what our religion meant to everyone, right? It drew everyone in. But in the last 200 years, I feel like we kind of left the beautiful things alone. And that's what I want to basically do with my projects. I want to make them beautiful again, right? There's not a shortage of prayer apps out there. They're beautiful and they're very useful, and I'm like grateful for them. But there's not one to me that was like connecting people with the church and priests and with a Catholic lifestyle and with prayer, but done in a very modern way. That's why I developed the candles in the most beautiful way. Like our candles, non-Catholic spire candles in super, super high-end stores. And I kind of wanted to bring it back to that again, rather than, the grandma candles that you buy for $1 at the grocery store or on Santi Street or something like that. And I'm not saying there's not a place for those candles, there is, but let's make the church beautiful again. And like, we have such a history with beautiful objects. And that was my kind of mission in doing both of these things. And again, you guys, if your listeners want, they can download the app with the code Guadalupe. And same with the website for the candles as well. It's Guadalupe at saintcandles.com.
Right, saintcandles.com. I'm looking at the site as you're speaking. I mean, just each picture. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I mean, yeah,
Thank you.
I'm right. Yeah, absolutely. Well done. So, Adam, in the final couple minutes, what do you got to say?
Well, I would say that sacramentals, holy images, we're always encouraged, and we encourage other people to have those around us in our life. As you move through your day, whether you're at work or at home, as your eyes move across beautiful things, as I was saying, things that are not only holy but are beautiful also, all the more engaging. And it is a constant kind of encouragement to us. Like if you look behind Ira, she's sitting in a beautiful room. Those images of Mary, in lit well, done well, it's enticing and enchanting even from a distance. And it's not completely clear, and we can't walk up to them and see them, but we're drawn to them, even in a simple image like this. And I know some people are only listening, but she's sitting in a very, very beautiful room. Holy images and inspiring images, they do a great service for us, and they help protect us. They help strengthen us as we move through our day. Behind you, Deb, for those that can't see, there are a number of crucifixes. There's an image of Jesus, a drawing of the face of Jesus, that I've, seen that over your shoulder for a few years now. It's a powerful image. We want to have these holy images and holy objects in our life, in our day-to-day life, not just when we go to church.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ira, we are so grateful to you that you spent the day before Thanksgiving with us, the day after Thanksgiving, and we hope you come and visit us again on Morning Joy and let us know the future projects, because you've got more to come, and we can't wait to journey with you. And we just want to let you know that we think you're a beautiful soul inside and out. And so thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Debbie, Adam, and Tim. Thank you for having me on the show.
God
Definitely.
bless you.
Yes,
Thank
God bless you. And yeah, many blessings to your whole team. Well, this was a wonderful 2-part segment of The Next Right Thing with Ira DeWitt. If you missed any part of it, you can go to our section of the archives of The Next Right Thing, and Keith and Tim have it so beautifully situated there in the library of past Morning Joy episodes. And we believe this is a good use of social media. So what we'll do is we'll make some shorts that you can post on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll just keep going with this, because when you know a good thing, you want to stick with it, and it's wonderful to journey together as the body of Christ. Okay, Adam, have a beautiful rest of your Friday, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Spirit World. We'll send it back to Keith.